Variation 2 Robocop is the most commonly seen variation, as it is the variation with more projectile options to focus on a more self-sustaining zoning game. But this variation is extremely powerful up close as well, thanks to his Flamethrower. We'll be talking about what Flamethrower does, how to use it, and how to practice with it. Flamethrower, or Back Forward 3, is a variation 2 exclusive special move that is 17 frames on startup. It is Robocop's preferred combo ender for juggles if Robocop wants to end up a little closer to the opponent after an amplified high auto 9 or down back 1 anti-air confirmation. It will knock the opponent down if the opponent is in the air. However, if the opponent is on the ground, it will not knock down and instead keep them standing at plus 15 on hit and on amplified plus 17 frames on hit. This can be to Robocop's advantage for pressure afterwards and is the heart of his strike or throw game plan. In order to create a strike or throw mix-up situation, the answers your opponent must make to counter your actions must be mutually exclusive. A solution to counter Robocop's strike, then, cannot work for Robocop's throw. This means using a high attack won't work for the strike throw mix-up because the opponent will be crouching and not blocking to make the high attack and the throw whiff, covering both options. Forward 2 is perhaps our best candidate since it is an advancing 13 frame mid with really good strings for our purposes. This is because we are able to special cancel Forward 2 1, giving us plenty of time to see if the opponent is blocking our strike or not. That's not the only reason why Forward 2 is our best candidate. It is because it advances so much that we're actually able to continue the strike throw mix-up off Flamethrower unamplified, unlike Forward 3, so no need to spend meter. But also, Forward 2-1-2 has a crushing blow attached that activates if the opponent tries pressing a button after what they thought was a Forward 2-1 string that was -5 on block, clearly making Robocop helpless to losing his turn if he didn't use Forward 2-1-2. Oh, and Forward 2-1-2 is safe at -7 on block 2, so it's pretty good. It's also worth noting here that Robocop has a crushing blow also attached to his throw that activates on the next throw after a failed escape attempt from the last throw, so your opponent, unless they're not afraid, probably isn't going to want to tech throws either, making Robocop strike or throw mix-up all the better. Alright, so we have a resetter, we have a perfect string to use, and we have an escape failed crushing blow with Robocop's throw. So, how do we go about using them? To use this strategy, there are two things Robocop players need to practice: dashing and buffering the directional inputs. Starting with dashing. Robocop players need to dash in after a Flamethrower confirm in order to ensure the subsequent Forward 2 reaches the opponent before they return to a neutral state for that strike or throw mix-up. It is incredibly important that Robocop dashes in after a Flamethrower even in the corner, because if you only dash in for a throw, for example, your opponent can recognize that and react to the dash instead. Robocop players must dash in every time, no matter what your option is. It's also important to note that dashes in this game can be long and can be cancelled at any time, so timing the Forward 2 cancel off your dash is important. The best way of practicing this in training mode is to go to Control Player 2 and record Robocop's AI options and try out dash cancelling there. That way, the AI can replay your dash cancel and when you control player 2 to check if you can mash out in an attack before Robocop's Forward 2 or throw come out. If you end up stuffing Robocop's strike or throw, then you need to dash cancel sooner. If Robocop is, say, too far away or out of range, then you need to dash cancel a little later. Once player 2 can no longer stuff Robocop strikes after that dash cancel, that means your dash canceling with Robocop is done correctly, and you can continue practicing that precise method. If for whatever reason you forget that dash cancel, you can record your dash again and test it by having player 2 control and mashing it out like before. Now, dash canceling is more important off striker throw mix-ups from an unamplified flamethrower, as it leaves Robocop with less plus frames on hit to dash cancel with. However, still close enough to stuff Scarlet's options here, so the dash cancel window is just a little tighter and well worth the practice. For buffering the directional inputs, this is also fairly important for the strike throw mix-up, as you are waiting during the forward 2-1 string to recognize if the opponent is blocking forward 2-1 or if the opponent is getting hit by the forward 2-1. This is because you really don't want to accidentally do forward 2-1 into flamethrower on block. That's minus 19 on block, and you're going to get exploded for that. If you're going for the forward 2-1-2, you also don't want to accidentally forward 2-1 into arm CC cannon or back forward 2 from buffering that back forward input, because that's minus 13 unamplified and can be ducked. It's just not a good idea at all. So the idea then is to forward 2-1 and then very quickly input back forward immediately afterwards, because it won't take you long to confirm a hit into flamethrower. You will be confirming with the 3 input. Forward 2-1 back forward then is confirmed into 3, which will special cancel into flamethrower. Forward 2-1 back forward and then 2 after recognizing the opponent is blocking should give Robocop enough of a gap to execute forward 2-1-2 instead of forward 2-1 arm CC cannon. The best way to practice this is forward 2-1 back forward at an opponent on random combo on the blocking in AI setups. Confirm your hits into 3 and confirm your blocks into 2. If arm CC cannon comes out, you are confirming your 2 on block too early. And if your flamethrower comes out on block, you need to practice more reacting to blocks on hits. Good practice to do anyway. Robocop can do striker throw mix-ups, but he also needs good practice to react to these situations to come out on top. And I think that about covers it. We talked about what the striker throw mix-up is for Variation 2 Robocop, the best way of performing it, and the best way to practice it. Look out for more how-tos in the future. This is Mormel, and this was learning how to schmix with Variation 2 Robocop's Flamethrower.